Let us start. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya kattang acchayang kamame bhante bhuri panya tathagata kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya kattang acchayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya kattang acchayang kamame sangha supatipana anuttara sa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tisarana-gamanang paripunang, Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Surameraya majapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Vikala bhojana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Nacha Gita Wadita Visukadasana Malaganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanatana Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, Uchasayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Idang me silang Magapala Nyanasa Pachayo Hotu Appamadena Sampadeta. Sadhu, sadhu. Now I put all the cushion, you shift all over again. When I sometimes you shift already, then you hide behind somebody and do not know what you are doing, especially the last row. As long as I can see you and you can see me. All right, never mind. Okay, today, so we skip the guided meditation because I think there's some questions. Not too difficult to answer, but maybe a bit long. All right, let us go to the questions. Share the screen. Okay, first question. During sitting meditation, the heartbeat was getting stronger and stronger. It was so vigorous. A slow, deep breath is carried out to pacify it. Later, it got better. Can this be one of the ways to observe the changes by slow, deep breath? Okay, let me repeat. During sitting meditation, the heartbeat was getting stronger and stronger. It was so vigorous. A slow, deep breath is carried out to pacify it. Later, it got better. Can this be one of the ways to observe the changes by slow, deep breath? Okay. Now, at least it's good. You can notice the heartbeat. Yeah. So many yogis, in fact, almost all, you can notice, able to notice the heartbeat as you begin to develop further and further into the development. Yeah? But sometimes this nature of this heartbeat, it gets a bit stronger, which is true. That is where problem comes in. Because yogi can't see. And you see, this nature of this heartbeat, this is part of the process of vipassana meditation, and it becomes clear as the mindfulness picks up. And it's natural. These are natural. In the beginning part, the yogis are sometimes fearful because they think that the heart is actually beating faster. But the breathing is not going any faster. The breathing is still the same. It's still quite normal, but it's just only the heart is getting faster. So after that, what they do? They put the hand there. Faster or not? No, I didn't beat faster. It's still the same. Then they put the hand here. Any faster or not? No, it doesn't go any faster. It doesn't go any faster. It's just the same. Or whether you put it in the wrist here and this one here, there's nothing go faster. Right now, the mind becomes more clearer. The consciousness become more clearer. You are noticing a little bit on the consciousness side. And and the mind sometimes, because these things are never seen before, we tend to have a lot of a lot of assumptions, a lot of presumption, or whatever it is, or what is going to happen to the body and so on. But these are natural phenomena, as I said. So, so your job actually is just to pay attention to them as they really are. Don't disturb it. Don't pacify it with a deep breath. You're not supposed to do all these type of things. If it's vigorous, let it be vigorous. You won't die. You won't, there's no anything is going to happen to you. As long as you're mindful. So just take note of it. Sometimes this heartbeat now you thought that is here. After that you run over to here. How? Then after the heartbeat come into the stomach area, how come the heart and the stomach? Then they become very confused, But it's just only vibration, sometimes pulsation that is happening. And your job is to note them as they are. Don't go and kacau it. Don't go and disturb it. Don't go and pacify it. It will know how to reduce its speed. It will know how to increase its speed depending. So sometimes it may just run around the heart, around the body, sorry. It may run around the body, sometimes right up to the face, sometimes to the left, to the right, to the stomach area. So these things are part of the nature of the mind. At one time, one doctor meditate, because they every day hear the stethoscope, check you, check your bag. Then they hear all these type of things, the doctors normally do. So now he could able to meditate and he could hear the heartbeat now. So he did it like a stethoscope like that. No, he didn't bring that one, but he tried to notice it carefully, peep pop, peep pop. And then he began to feel the rhythm of it, there's a beep and then there's a drop, and then the beat, there's a drop. So, so he's trying to analyze the whole thing, that he think that he's noting a heartbeat. But anyway, these are not really, but once in a while, the heartbeat may be a little bit clearer. But usually later on, the consciousness will overlap it. So don't go and analyze it in this way. So don't go and think about it in this way. Don't over think about it that what's going to happen to you, because these are new phenomena that is already begin to unfold itself, because due to the nature of the mindfulness become clearer. So next time when you notice vibrations, pulsations, heartbeat, that's occurring in the, whether in the heart area or various parts in the area, then drop the, let's say if they become more prominent than the rising and falling, then drop the rising and falling. Then notice the pulsation, beating, or wherever that they are going. Sometimes they may running about here and there. Sometimes they may be in a certain spot. So whenever it happens in this way, then your job is to pay attention to them as they are. They have patterns sometimes, sometimes very random, sometimes they have a certain patterns. Then you see it for yourself. Right? So don't go and kacau it, don't go and disturb it. Nothing is going to happen to you. Okay, next question. All right. How can we arouse energy to note and strengthen the mind when we face with pain in multiple places and hard to focus on the rising and falling? Okay, how we can arouse energy to note and strengthen the mind when we are faced with pain in multiple places and hard to focus on rising and falling. So how to arouse the energy? Now, I was talking about the pain, um, say, how long ago? 2 weeks ago? Maybe, yeah. That time I was looking at it uh, from the from the point of effort. When we talk about effort, that time, um, effort as a factor of enlightenment. No? I also talk about it maybe about, hold on. Right? We'll talk about it that day about one and a half, 1.5 talks uh, on all about pain. Pain, nothing but pain. Because I got a lot of story on pain on but of course we cannot go through all this type of thing over here, we're going to simplify the whole thing. There are days when you're going to face a lot of unpleasant bodily feelings, and one of these all this type of bodily feelings is one of the biggest problem in yogis, that they do not want to carry on this vipassana anymore. It's one of the setback. But the pain is not the problem. It's always what? The aversion of it, the dislike of it, the strong aversion of it. That means if there's strong aversion to it, other words, it shows also indirectly your desire, your sensual desire also very strong. Yeah, they are all correlate to each other. Your sensual desire also very strong. That means you're always looking for something very comfortable, very nice. Yeah. So, so the aversion is very strong. So because of that, a lot of times and they fall away from all this vipassana meditation. They do not know how to handle it. That's the problem. Various types of pain arises. They do not know how to handle them, and then therefore they begin to fearful of it. Maybe not fearful, but they have doubt, skeptical doubt about whether this meditation should go on with all this type of pain or not. How come all other meditation I go through, there's no pain? No, my friends tell me that their meditation is all very pleasant and very nice. And here I am in this meditation, pain, pain, nothing but pain. Morning pain, afternoon pain, night pain. The next day, I think it's going to pain again. So a lot of skeptical doubt and a lot of, then the whole mind gets into a lot of, you cannot meditate and then no progress, no progress. Other words, you're not going to come back into this retreat anymore because there's no confidence in this retreat. This type of meditation, vipassana especially. Yeah? But the nature of this pain is such that whenever you begin to have deeper mindfulness and clearer mindfulness, the rule of the thumb, I'm not saying for everyone, but I'm saying the rule of the thumb, generally there will be pain. In other words, pain is a good sign that you are actually progressing. Actually, it's a good sign that there is something that you're noticing. I'm talking about this type of meditation pain. The type of meditation pain that you get up and then more or less it disappears. You sit down again, then the pain is there. So more or less, if there's pain, there's a good sign. Especially as you see, going into the first insight, second insight now, especially that part and the third insight now, that means a lot of pain over there. Various ways of how the pain is going to come in and how they're going to arise, pass away, how they stay, how they stay and don't go away. This type of nature of pain that is going to come in various ways. So it is a good sign. It is a good sign that the yogis is doing something. right. Yeah. But on the yogi part, they always think that there's something wrong because so much pain. I look at other yogis, they sit so still, so calm, so peaceful, and here myself, all pain here, pain there, pain everywhere. But actually, if you sit in the in the interview room inside here, then it's the first yogi, second yogi, third yogi, fourth yogi, pain, pain, nothing but pain. I mean, I'm still happy for them, lah, but sian, same thing. Same thing. But at least they are doing something. At least there's some pain there, which is good. As I said, this is again here rule of the thumb. And not everybody going through in this way, but most yogis go through in this way, especially in the beginning of the development. So dealing with pain, dealing with pain is that one of the thing is that if your mind is not firm enough, your mind is not confident enough, and then if there is always a lot of attachment in yourself or in your body, then it's going to be difficult before even you know the pain. Yeah. Again here, many years ago, another doctor, another doctor. Then they come in, they say that if pain, there must be problem with the body already. Cannot be no problem one. How could not all this type of pain? Because they are always have a strong perception that whenever there's pain here in the body, there must be certain sickness or aches or some problem with the knee or with the buttock or wherever already. I said, well, I tried to convince him that when you get up, I mean, the pain is all gone, isn't it? We are using the pain just to train the mind, to arouse the mindfulness. But the, they cannot take it because always think that the pain must have some problem. No? But very hard to this one. But after that, never seen them again. Maybe I've gone to other retreats. I do not know, but I've never seen the doctor again. Again, here you see, when you have all this wrong perception about pain, then again here you will not able to even to note the pain, even want to face the pain when it comes up, because of the wrong perception coming up. Then again here, while we are noting the pain, sometimes yogis, although they know that they are supposed to face the pain, but again here, the mind has already certain presumption about the pain. They already have an idea that whenever they want to note a pain, they must make until the pain disappear. And that is wrong thinking already, wrong perception already. Your job is not to make anything disappear, make anything arise. Your job is just to note them as they are. They want to disappear, they will disappear. They want to come, they will come. They want to grow more, they will grow more. Not for you to want this and want that. So a lot of times we have a lot of desire in us, the craving already in us, where we don't realize it before we note the pain. That's why every time we go in to note the pain, we lost the battle because the pain doesn't end. Always keep on growing. Maybe in the past, maybe you see one or two or three pain, you not, it disappeared. Not, 1, 2 times it disappeared. You feel very happy. So you form that idea, then you thought that in the future, those pain that you're going to note, surely is going to disappear. But it didn't, and they grow more. Then you get very mentally get very entangled already during that time. How come that time I was like that? Now cannot. So the presumption, the whole idea is already wrong about the pain. So they note them so that they want to get rid of the pain. That means, other words, the mind is already, the dislike about the pain is already there already, right in the beginning. Yeah? But another yogi, slightly a different idea. He doesn't want to get rid of pain. No. You just want to note the pain right to the end. So what they do is that they have an idea to, the pain is there, they're going to watch it, fight it, and then sit up. Maybe hour later, still got pain, still sit and sit. 1.5 hours, still not there, not disappear yet, sit some more, sit until the pain disappear. That also is wrong. That also is wrong. There's two different way of how, although the pain, talking about the ending of the pain, but the mind come in from two different perspective, and both also is wrong. In a way that he wants the pain to end quickly, to disappear. The other one wants to note it until the pain ends. But in the heart, he doesn't want, in the sense that you want to get rid of the pain. It's just want to see how it ends. And that also is wrong, because you already want things the way you want it. So they sit and sit and sit and sit. Then there are people who come with the pain because of their experience of pain so difficult in the past. Now because they cannot tahan the pain, they cannot take the pain anymore. So when they watch the pain, they watch it far, far away. May you be well and happy. Huh? Far, far away. They try to talk to the pain. I think you're going to go crazy. They do all kinds of things except paying attention to the pain as they really are. You see, all our delusion, our dislike, and all our sensual desire is all just surrounding about the pain. So it's hard to see those things even before you note it. All right? So let's say you know the way. You will remove all the wrong perception, and your job is just to see the pain as they really are, how it comes in, how it disappears, and whatever that's going to do, however you're going to change. So you have that idea. But the thing is that when you face directly with the pain, you can't take it. The pain is so painful. You're supposed to see things as they are, but tak boleh tahan how to take it. Then that another thing that we got to do. Yeah. One of the thing when you want to arouse, to note the pain, that means even you remove this thing, that means your mind needs to stay with the pain and observe what is going on. Here is where your walking meditation becomes very important. And especially your third phase or your slowest phase of walking meditation. The slowest phase of walking meditation is where you're going to arouse a lot of effort. The sitting meditation, you're not going to arouse much effort into it. You're not going to be able to arouse much effort. It's the walking meditation in the third phase or the slowest phase, and you're going to arouse a lot of effort. So, in other words, in the third phase, you got to watch your object carefully. Lifting, pushing, dropping, pressing, tightening, moving, vibration, and everything. Again and again. Sometimes you may need to increase the third phase or your slowest phase right up to 40 minutes to 45 minutes. And we have to do it. And you begin with, again, we begin with one phase first. Relax the body first, relax everything until your body more at ease, clear, calm, and then start with the third phase. Start with the third phase, sometimes you need to do quite a lot in order to arouse a lot of energy. Now, with that energy that you arouse, then you bring it over to the sitting. That is where your mind can stay with the pain whenever the pain arises in the sitting. So more or less, next time, you notice that the sitting has been coming more pain, a lot of pain here and there, that you notice that the mind cannot able to take it. This time is for you to increase the walking meditation, the third phase walking meditation a little bit longer. A little bit longer until the mind is clear. Sometimes you need to do a few walkings in order to really arouse the energy. Then when it comes into the pain, you notice that the mind can stay with the pain, observe the pain, and able to at least lengthen the mind to note it. Perhaps it may you'll be able to note the pain until the end of the hour, to the top of the hour. But sometimes you may not so, because the pain can be excruciating. The pain can be excruciating. So what is important here to me is not just whether you can end the sitting or not. To me, is that whether what did you do inside here when the mind is taking up the object in the paying attention to it. What are you doing during that time? This is where you progress. This is where you actually progress. And the more that you can able to know what is going on here, actually you can able to lengthen the time. Yeah? Some people just want to lengthen the time, but inside don't do anything. They just grit the teeth. They grit the teeth until that no matter what you do in this way, you're not going to progress. You feel good about yourself only, just because you hear the bell and then you don't move. But quality of noting is not there. So actually, there are people meditating like that. They are just very stubborn and just not there. So as I said, the quality of how you pay attention to the pain, then that is very important. So you need a lot of effort for the mind to sustain on the pain, to note them as they are. Now, when you take the pain, there are two things that you have to take notice. One is that you take notice of the kind of pain that what you are going through. What type of pain that is going through? Are you going through a hard pain, soft pain, pulling pain, tearing pain, sawing pain, biting pain, itchy pain? What else do you have? What's in the vocabulary? Everything. No. You not there. That is how you begin to face the face with the pain. You begin to, at least mentally, you describe the pain. What is it going through? So this is first thing. Second thing is that you begin to see the changes of the pain. How the pain is changing. The pain is changing maybe by its intensity. It's growing more and more and more, means it's slowly changing. Sometimes it grow more, it become less. It's also changing. Then after it grow more again, that is also one way how it change. Sometimes it may change a little bit, like it move from one object to another object. Here a little bit, there a little bit, there a little bit. Sometimes it runs. Sometimes you notice that your numbness, pulling from beginning from the ankle, then it go up to the knee. Then knee go up to the buttock go up to the knee again. Then you follow it. You followed all the pain, what is happening over there. Now, when you're able to do that, and your mind is energetic enough to able to sustain on the pain, then you can able to watch what is going on there. If you're more advanced in the meditation, then the pain changes much more faster. It comes in arising, passing away, changing here and there. You don't even know where's the place. Sometimes it's just run around, beep, beep, pop, pop, beep, beep, pop, pop. But you know that it's still painful. Because it's unpleasant feelings, So this is how we pay attention to the nature of the pain, the quality of noting. But the thing is that the energy, that you arouse, this energy, sometimes it comes to a limit. That is where you're going to have a lot of thinking about the time, thinking where it's going to ring, thinking of whether should I move the leg, don't move the leg, and so on. Then that is where the agitation starts coming in. Now here it will be good that you begin to observe the agitation of the mind. The agitation of the mind here is coming in with this type of thoughts. You know that it's agitated, and also at the same time, the mind is like trying to push it away, trying to push the dislike, the aversion. That sometimes some people angry about the pain. Some people begin to ask the deva to come and help them, ask the mother to come and help. No, the agitation starts already. So all kinds of thoughts is going to come in just to tell you, don't watch the pain. It tricks you into not watching the pain with all kinds of thinking. So you must watch that agitation that comes in. You watch that agitation, anger, dislike, aversion. Then try to settle the agitation. Once the agitation settled, then actually you can able to notice the pain all over again. Hopefully you can able to stretch it until the 1 hour is up. So 1 hour is up, then enough. Don't be a hero. Don't try to 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. It can be quite painful. But then, of course, sometimes we want to change the position of the leg. Let's say it's painful. Should we do or should we not do? Then here again, when you need to do it now, but sorry, by all means try not to first. By all means, no matter try this, try that. Only the last resort, we change the position of the leg, or we shift the body, or we get up and walk. That is only you put up the white flag already. No matter what you do, tak boleh already. So that time, let's say you shift the leg. Now, when you want to shift the leg, again, you make the intention. Intention to shift, then only you shift. Then you feel a relief of the pain. You carry on noticing how the pain begin to relieve. It's begin to relieve and then begin to soften, begin to lessen, and then you feel the pain disappear as your position of your leg is all adjusted. Then the time no feeling. Then the time pleasantness may be coming in. Not the pleasantness, not everything. Then after that, continue back to the rising and falling. That means there's always a continuity of noting. But it will be best that try not to move at all. Because once you start moving, the habit starts forming. That sitting I can move. Maybe this one also can move a little bit. Then slowly. Then you're going to, every time in the future, every time the pain comes up, the first thing is not noting, the first thing is moving. So don't fall into that type of trap. Actually, this habit, a lot of yogis have it. Especially if you're not trained in Vipassana. In Vipassana, more or less, we tell you to sit still and pay attention. But in other forms of meditation, anytime there's pain on you, most people will just shift the leg or adjust and everything so that we don't want to see the dukkha. Even in the text, in the Visuddhimagga, it says, why the dukkha is not being seen? I mean, the dukkha has many different levels. Why the dukkha is not being seen? It's not being seen because of the dukkha is concealed because of movement of the body. Movement of the body. For those online there, try don't move at all. Sit and then don't move at all. Then after that, all pain coming up. The moment we start moving, we already shifted we already concealed the whole dukkha already. We just cover it up. Now, you watch your TV, let's say, after like that, after like that, after like that, after like that, after put the leg up, put the leg down. That's what we call concealing the dukkha. So in the retreat now, because we need to see the nature of the dukkha, so we have to keep the body still. then only various types of dukkha begin to show you here and there. When I say dukkha, it's not your buttock pain, here pain, but there are more different types of dukkha, much more deeper type of dukkha, which does not come with pain. No. It may comes with happiness, maybe comes with joy, it may comes with everything. Uh, there are more deeper aspect of the dukkha, but it always start off with all this type of pain first. So if you keep on moving it, the body, then deeper aspect will not able to see. So try to sit still as you can, as best as you can. All right. Okay. So other words, you want to arouse it, make sure that your walking meditation, you do it well. And also, of course, together with the walking meditation, it's the daily activities also. Again, here, the daily activities, you try to make the effort to notice as much as you can. It may not be 100%, it may not be perfect. There are always a lot of breaking here and there, but the effort, try to biting, chewing, noticing certain things more precisely, more thoroughly in a certain, for a short period of time, that would be very good. It arouses a lot of all this mindfulness and effort. So when you transfer the whole thing, going to the sitting, then you see that the mind can stay with the pain much more better. You can see its nature, you can see changes, you can see what is going on. Then the time, the confidence of meditation begin to build up much more better. All right? Okay. Next question. The question also, it says hard to focus on rising and falling. That time when your pain is there, don't go with the rising and falling. The rising and falling, other sensation is not the prominent object. The taiko is the pains. All these are caliphate only now. Others are caliphate only. Only now the pain. No matter you shift your attention elsewhere, the pain will shift you back to the pain. So you cannot run anywhere. So you make sure that you pay attention to the pain, put all the rising and falling aside until the pain is no more that strong or it goes into the background. And then only you go back to the rising and falling and on all these things. Some people, they use this rising and falling as an escape. Pain come up, they know that they cannot now. So they focus very hard on the rising and falling. Try not to look at it too much because they know that once they look at it, they see very painful. So they hold on. So other words, they use the rising and falling with the little craving there. Then they use it to escape the pain. Although the pain is built up, since you're not paying attention, it feels not so strong. So they you try. That is where you're going to upset all your mental faculties, all your noting mind. Yeah? So try not to do that. When you rise, as I said, sorry, when you're facing pain, then notice them also. Yeah? Hey, share the screen back. All right. Next question. When there's boredom in sitting meditation, meaning watching rising, falling only, how can yogis strengthen the mind towards this attitude of mind? Huh? When there is boredom in sitting meditation, meaning watching the rising and falling only, how can the yogi strengthen the mind towards this attitude of mind? We talk about boredom also. We talk about boredom. When was that? Also connected with joy that time. Yeah? Connected with joy. Other words, when you're watching rising and falling and you get bored. Why bored? Because only just rising, falling, rising, falling. No other thing already rising, falling, rising. 可能很闲, quite you already so fed up with it. Just rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall. After that, next sitting also rise and fall, rise and fall. Nothing interesting right now. Huh? So again here, the boredom comes in, will set in because the mind gets not, yeah, it's seeing nothing much. No, no activity, nothing. The mind is not interested in what is going on. Then it goes a lot of thinking and so on. Yeah. So can we do? Yeah? What can we do with this type of boredom? Uh, when the boredom comes in, it also shows that the effort is already dropping. Also, the effort also is dropping, and also that time also, the the joy factor, the pity factor, the joy factor, it's already like also not so strong. So what should we do at this time? There are a few things what we can do when this boredom comes in. uh. Firstly, is like try to notice other objects. Learn to take up secondary objects. Sometimes there are yogis, when the boredom comes in, they do not know how to take up other secondary objects. Because this type of yogi is called rising falling yogi, but not vipassana yogi. Rising falling, because they know how to take up rising falling only. They have to take up rising for everything they don't want to see. They put everything aside, only rising and falling only. When I was beginning to meditate, I also have that attitude. I have that attitude. But after, of course, the teacher begin to change the way how I note things, then begin to pay attention more to the pain, secondary objects, sitting and touching, and so on. And then we change, so some yogis, they come in, then they have this idea that only take up rising and falling and other secondary objects, they are not important. Not important. And because of that, sometimes also, because of this type of understanding that they have, sometimes there are also certain teachers or instructors, they have that idea also. So when they have that idea, then sometimes when they come into reporting or coming into sharing, then the whole instructor will be just the instruction from the instructor or the teacher is to want to hear rising and falling only. Other than that, they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear your pain. Your pain they chỉ cái搞điểm. They don't want to hear your walking meditation. They don't want to hear all other things. They don't want to hear your thinking. They don't want to hear your sleepiness. They are not interested in that. Only rising and falling only. If you come into the reporting, then you just note rising and falling only. 搞了, you can walk out happily already. to them, to them it's enough already. To them, to the teachers, enough already. Actually, like that now, I've seen because of that the way of Mahasi meditation becomes very narrow. And a lot of yogis fall into this category. Sad to say. Sad to say. They only fall into this category, become very narrow. And once that rising and falling, anything affected with the rising and falling, that's it, the whole meditation of Vipassana. That's it, gone. Because they got no other supportive, this one. So many times, I've been to centers and here and there, people don't really bother about secondary objects, about walking meditation, and about thinking, how to note the thinking, how to note the sleepiness, and so on. They really don't bother about it. They just want to hear your rising and falling. So it creates that idea to the new yogis that this rising and falling is the only thing what Mahasi Sayadaw taught. But that is actually not what Mahasi Sayadaw taught. Mahasi Sayadaw thought there is a primary objects, there is secondary objects. So the thing is that people thought that primary object is the most important, secondary object not important at all. No. Primary object and secondary object, they are equally important. They are equally important in the sense that whenever they are prominent, they are important. That means you must have the skills to learn how to take note of all this, learning how to pay attention to the secondary objects. The skills, let's say for example, the pain, secondary object. If you do not know the skills, you just simply muscle and just go in to take note of the pain, you will fail because you don't do your walking meditation properly, you don't do your daily activities properly, and you thought that you just sit down, you can bear up with the pain. Cannot. So the secondary of the skills is not there. Noting, let's say, noting the sleepiness. You don't have the skills how to take note of it. Agitation of the mind. You don't have the skills how to take note of it. Then every time it comes in, the mind get disappointed. Sleepiness comes in, get disappointed because they don't know how to deal with it. Yeah. To me, I emphasize these things. Although I may have to emphasize it, the agitation to take up sometimes 2 or 3 talks. But for you to do it, it takes you maybe just a few seconds only, for you to stop that agitation. My job is done because you know how to do it. Yeah. So I don't mind to spend a little bit longer to talk about it. After all, I got so many other talks to go. So I mean, I still got time. So I don't mind to spend a bit more time. And sometimes I a bit xiong hey, I repeat myself again and again. So it's good because a lot of us, our brain is all leaking one. But it doesn't matter if you don't remember what I talk. But if that time, if you know how to do it, you will definitely remember it already. How to do it, if you can able to overcome all these things. Only I give you options here and there. So you try here and there, you know what to do, then you overcome your problem. So too, like boredom, also the same thing. The boredom is also the nature of where it's a part of like hindrances also. You come in and the boredom comes in, and we do not know what to do. This is where again skills come in. This is where secondary objects will be very helpful, or changing of posture can also be helpful, or doing other skillful things can also become very helpful. Say what can we do during the sitting meditation. Let's say the boredom come in. You watch rising and falling and there's nothing much. It's only rising, falling only. So what do? So this time you change to a secondary objects. So the secondary objects here, you let go of the rising and falling. Now you can try to look up where is the most prominent objects, whether it's in the hands or whether in the buttocks, and then just take 3 or 4 area of 3 or 4 spots which is clear to you. Some people also take the whole body sitting, it feels the whole body as a spot or as an area. Touching may be another one, or sometimes there are thighs that's touching the cushion, can be also another one, or the buttock, the one buttock, the other buttock, another one. If you cannot feel your whole big buttock, just take one. It's also okay, as long as you feel something. The most important that you feel something. Then you choose your spots, you choose your area. At that time, let go of rising and falling, then note. Take up the noting. Then my way of noting the sitting and touching is that you stay with a spot for a few notings first. Like for example, if your hands are touching right now, then stay with that. Touching, 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 touching. 4 or 5 notings there. Or a little bit more, doesn't matter. What is important when you label it at that time? Because now labeling will be important due to the nature of the effort is low. So you bring back the labeling. Make sure that the labeling is there. Note a few times. Pay attention to the sensation. The sensation is where the mindfulness also come in. If you don't pick up sensations, for example, whether it's a hot or whether it's a pressure, sometimes some people notice the finger pressing like that. Okay lah, boleh pun lah, as long something is there, If you can able to notice it, also notice it. Pressure, 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 pressure. Then all you need to do is pick up a few sensations here and there. Even one or two also can also, Sometimes it can be cold, sometimes it can be sweaty, sometimes whatever. So you pick up while you are labeling it. You pick up the sensation. So after that, move to the next spot. Move to the next spot, and then at the other next spot, pay attention to it 4 or 5 times of noting. Note. Then again, pick up sensation. The sensation may be different from the touching, maybe at the buttock, maybe pressure, maybe hardness, maybe cramp a little bit. Then notice it. Then after that, shift the attention to the next one. Shift attention to the next one, to the next buttock, perhaps. Then again, take note of it. Take note of it. How is it like? How is the pressure and all that thing? Then again, go back again to the touching. Go back again to the touching. Can. If you don't want, then you can do it clockwise for a few times. Then you can do it anti-clockwise for a few times. Also can. Or you can go label it like from the head, take it down all the way to the buttocks, and then you take another of your touching points. Also possible. So sitting. Pay attention to some sensation as you scan through the body. You scan through the body, pay attention to it, then noticing it. This time you keep on pushing the mind. Make sure that the mind is doing some work lah. Because if your boredom is there, it's just like that only. You're not going to do anything. So your job is to make the effort, make it move a little bit, and make it move a little bit, just to arouse the energy. Sometimes when you notice these things, and you begin to discover new objects or new sensations, because you begin to pay attention to it. Because of you able to discover, the mind get interested. Hey, wow, never seen before. Then all the joy come in already. All the interest of noticing come in. Then you see that the energy starts coming in, the boredom starts to fade away. That is one way to notice it. If you are sleepy also, drowsy, this way also is also doing it similarly also. You can do it for sleepiness also, because there's a drop of energy there. Okay, that is one way. Another way is again face the boredom directly. And that one is a bit difficult because that time energy also bo liao, But you can try lah. At one time, beginning of my retreat, first time here, I meditate downstairs. Meditate until sian, really, really boring. So I come up to the shrine hall here, somewhere near that last cushion there. So I was sitting there. Then that time, there's no mosquito netting. This mosquito netting only 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I just made it. So I sat here, sat here. So boring already. I say, no, never mind. I make an effort, because not the bottom. After that, the mosquito come and bite me. So many. After another bite here, not. Another one come, not, bottom, biting, not. Oh, so many things to play. After that, you get up half an hour, was mind all clear. No bottom already, but full of bite, full of marks. So directly go head to head, face to face to it. So head to face to it, that means you put the effort there, pay attention to it, see how the bottom is changed. Sometimes the bottom is nature like that, very difficult, bear with it and take note of it. Sometimes if the effort is strong enough, it overcomes the bottom. Every now and then, the bottom will definitely come in. Because even then, your objects can be quite clear, but the object has no variety. It's just like that only. Like that only. Sometimes, or it's just moving like that, then like that. Like that. Tomorrow, so like that. It's the same thing. It's still the same thing, but that's where the mind gets bored. So if it gets bored a bit, pay attention to the boredom that's coming in. If you can, well and good. It overcomes it, also good. And if cannot, then shift over to secondary objects. All right. Now let's say that boredom, it can be quite strong. If you cannot handle it, get up and do the walking. Break the whole sitting. Get up and do the walking. And when you do the walking, again here, uh, take note of the sensation. Take note of the sensation, and take note, or you can take note of the secondary objects. You can take note of the feet if they are clear to you. If it's not so clear, then take note of the secondary objects in the walking meditation. Yeah? Now, during the walking meditation, also there's a lot of boredom because it's noticing the same thing, lifting, pushing, dropping only. There's nothing much to see. For some, at least there'll be times and there's nothing much to see. So this time again here, we take up the secondary objects. We take up the secondary objects. We learn how to pay attention to the secondary objects, like your knees are moving, or ankles are moving, hips are moving, or shoulders are moving, or sometimes even you hold your hands, you hold your palms together. That feels warm and sweaty. Don't go and move the hand up. Stay there first. Feel it first, and pay attention to it. Yeah. Really strict way of walking meditation. Your arms also not supposed to move on, Just stay there. Whole hour you walk, you stay there. Just like you put your leg, whole hour there means there already. But we cannot. We are after like that, like that, like that, put in pocket. We don't realize that we move the hand so much. But nevertheless, you try to be mindful of it. Yeah. But actually, you're not supposed to move the hand that much also, as you keep it steady as much as you can. Yeah. Even it's become unpleasant a little bit. So you pay attention to the secondary objects. As long as your mind shifted out to other objects, it aroused the effort from there, it aroused the interest from there. Then later part, when the mind becomes clear, when you go back to a rising and falling, when you go back to the lifting, pushing, dropping, then more and more sensation you can begin to pick up. Yeah? So there are a number of ways here. Okay? All right. Next, this one. Next question. All right. Next one. Hey, this is the third one. Okay. Fourth one. Fourth one is more of not a meditation question anymore. The Buddha gave a simile of a blind, not blind turtle, blind turtle. The Buddha gave a simile of a blind turtle which comes out every 100 years to the sea level, and the head just passed through a hole at a wooden plank floating on the sea. The chances to reborn as a human being is so rare and precious. The Buddha also mentioned just by performing a simple virtue, a lady is reborn as a deity, in bracket Dhamma talk, which I talked about it some time back, some talks back. Now here, reborn as a deity is a happy resultant, but doesn't guarantee further spiritual development. Hence, making an intention to be reborn, if not enlightened, to a place where one can still practice Buddhism is a better choice. Please comment. Yeah. Now, but the Buddha gave a simile of the blind turtle. It pops up the head, go through a plank for 100 years. So with that, it says that the chances to reborn as a human is rare and precious. But I also did mention, the Buddha mentioned, by performing simple action, simple generosity, one can reborn as a deva also. So now the contrasting here is this. Even there's two simile here. There are two simile here, but they are looking at things at different level. For us to able to do something wholesome. That means, in other words, you have changed your mind for a long, long period of time already. We don't realize that the simple act of giving, a simple act of offering or anything, we look at ourselves, it's so easy for us to do. But it's a very difficult thing to do for untold beings. Just because you're fortunate to have right understanding, right view, and so on, then you can able to do good actions. Whether you are a Buddhist or not does not matter, but you can able to do that act. But many beings may not be humans, but they may be other beings in all other planes of existence. They are not necessary, they have the idea to do even good deeds. So for you to able to do good deeds, it's a really different thing already. So that's why for us to able to do something good, and then that we can able to reborn as a human being or as a devas and so on, and then it's really fortunate in that sense. But then also the Buddha also mentioned that just by, as the commentary here also it says, by performing a simple act of virtue, a simple act of generosity, one can reborn as a deva plane of existence. Now, this one also is true, because if you do it with confidence and understanding, then that can be very powerful. Although we see it as actions, but we don't see what the mind is going through. So too, a lot of times, people look down on meditation. They don't realize that a purified mind is really a very much more higher stage of mind than when you do dana. Dana is another type of actions, but dana, when you do it, your mind sometimes may not be purified, but you still do the action. The merits is still there too. I'm not looking down on dana, it's just different. But when your mind is purified, every time you purify the mind, every moment, a single moment of mindfulness arises. That means the wholesome mind arises. The wholesome resultant is already there. It's going to be there. The wholesome resultant is going to be there. Whether it's going to be immediate next moment or in future, this life or future lives, but we do not know. So the thing is that the purified mind is a very powerful mind. So sometimes we do not know. Just by performing a simple act, one can reborn in a much more happier planes of existence. So don't underestimate a purified mind, a good state of mind, or even the generosity itself. Now, the problem is that when we are reborn as a deity, no, it's not a problem, sorry, not a problem. You see, sometimes people thought that reborn in a deity is all about kai, happy, relax. No need to work, no need to all this type of thing. And then they thought that, may not able to get Buddhism up there, or wherever they are. But actually, if you read the suttas, there are multitudes of devas come in to listen to the Buddha. And just by listening, a lot of them, countless of them attain the first stage or even higher. There are a number of suttas that they says that the devas come in, although humans cannot see them, but those people with special supernatural powers, they see that it's full of devas, full of, cannot see a space where the devas don't come. There's no deva. So by the Buddha able to see this situation by giving special type of dhamma talk, just for their to their inclination, and then these devas, just by a little bit of meditation, all enlightened. It looks so easy, and here we are. Meditate kami siao until gila, neither here nor there. But you see, many multitudes of deva attain enlightenment. More than actually, I think, more than human beings. So, so of course, even if you're reborn as a human being, doesn't mean guarantee that there's Buddhism, This time we are fortunate that we were reborn, we in the right place, and the teachings of the Buddha is still there. Then we can able to at least scrape something, from the Buddha Sasana. We may not have the Buddha is around 2,500 years ago, but we are still at the tail end, so we can still scrape here and there, So we are still fortunate in a sense. But the thing is that rebirth, it's like you go to a casino playing roulette, you throw the ball bearing or whatever, the dice inside it. You don't know which number is going to land into it. You go round and round, you throw the ball inside, round, 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 round. You get number 5. Okay, Deva. You get number 50. Okay, down the hell. We do not know. Because all of us, although we did a lot of good deeds, but we cannot remember that we also did a lot of bad deeds also. Not only in this life, but also in past life. And these bad deeds, sekali suka-suka, when the condition is there, you just come up and just take you to all the different planes of existence. So rebirth is like playing all this roulette thing, So the best is that when we have the Buddha Sasana is still around, when the teaching is still around, we try our best just to get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. If not, we still just carry on playing with the dice here and there. So the thing is that, again, reborn as a human being, problem is it is rare and precious, true. Reborn in a human being and you find the Dhamma. And then from 100 years become 1,000 years already. And the hole gets smaller. The plank gets smaller. Your chances is going to decide. And to able to see Buddhism and able to walk the path, like doing generosity, taking the 5 precept, 8 precept, uposatha, things like that. And then the chances is going to be like 10,000 years already, one time. Not 100 years already, this is 10,000. And then somehow you can able to meditate and all that thing, then the chances is even rare. Further, the rare, I don't know how to count already. So for us to meditate, the chances is for us to able to have the ability to meditate, because the mind is clear enough, the mind is clear, the body is healthy. Then we make the effort so that we try to develop as far as we can go. We do not know what's the next rebirth is going to take place. We really do not know. We do not know whether it's Buddhism will still be around the corner or not. Because if not, it's going to go in the dark ages, as the Buddha says, where the period where there's no Dhamma at all, So, like that, no? So better meditate and get out of this samsara. Well, next one. Next one. Next one, I don't think I can answer you already. This is from the online already this time. When we are faced with serious problems, especially health issues, the mind may go into negative proliferations. Later, the negative thoughts may manifest as real physical symptoms. For example, a cardio patient may experience chest pain and numbness at the left arm. A gastro patient may experience gastritis, flatulence, stomach upsets. Then the patient will suffer even more and go into hypochondria. Many doctors and medication may not help until the doctors and psychiatrists can diagnose the real mental problem. Okay, there are 3 questions here. Please explain how the negative mind can create imagined symptoms and become so real. Okay. So here we are faced with serious health issue. The mind may goes into negative proliferations. Okay. Later, the negative proliferations may become physical symptoms. The patient will suffer more and then will go into hypochondria. Many doctors and medication may not help until the doctors or psychiatrists can diagnose the real mental problem. Please explain how the negative mind can create imagined symptoms and become real. First of all, this is not really my area. This is belongs to the doctors and all that thing. Yeah? But what we can do as a Buddhist, what we can do as a Buddhist is to take care of this mind. Is to take care of this mind. Negative proliferations. Now, a lot of us sometimes that you see on your own family members or friends and so on. When they go into health problem, the whole mind goes down with it. The whole mind goes into a lot of anxiety or a lot of fear. Sometimes the fear of death, sometimes fear of lost the loved ones, and so on. A lot of negative mind that arises during this time. So we understand that the Buddha says that let the body be sick, let not the mind be sick. Yeah. So this is one thing. But how? But how are we going to do that? Yeah. Now, you see, the moment that we have these negative thoughts that arises concerning the health problem, this is what I know. It may not be correct, it may not be scientific at all, But why I feel the moment you have all these negative thoughts, and these negative thoughts proliferations, because it's proliferate, because it repeats again and again and again and again and again. And the more that you repeat them, you're going to affect the body. And how does it affect the body? Perhaps that is going to upset or elevate or decrease certain bodily hormones or certain organic chemicals in the body. When it stays in the body or when it increase or decrease, it's going to be there for quite some time. Although later part, your negative proliferation has stopped, but your body is being affected by it already. That means there are certain problems is caused by this thing on the body, or all this problem due to elevation, due to decrease of certain hormones and so on. It's already give rise to the body. And with that, these things is going to go on. Although you don't have your negative proliferations, but because it stays in the body. And because of that, it's going to feed back on the mind again. So it's going to feed back on the mind, all the negative thoughts. It's going to proliferate now, not because you want to have negative, but now it's because the body unpleasant, bosong and all that, then it's begin to give rise to all the negative proliferation. Then the cycle will go on from negative, and then it will affect the body going to affect the mind, then it's going to cycle. That's why people, very hard for them to come out from this quagmire, from this cycle. So they keep on going deeper and deeper for some people. So that is difficult to overcome, and then all the problems become very real. Because this is what I think lah. It may not be this one. So other words, the negative thoughts, you got to be very careful. Yeah, it's just like, as I said, those things can become habit. Once it becomes habit, you keep on repeating again and again. Yeah. B, how to aware and prevent the mind from going into continuous negative proliferations before things become bad. Right. So how are we going to prevent all these type of things? Then again here, not just only meditation, but when we're talking about this type of things, how the mind not go into proliferation, we are talking about overall of your lifestyle, your thinking, people will mix with. And this is going to affect your psyche or how you look at things. If you mix with the wrong people, every day getting angry, or people, love to steal, love to kill, you're going to follow them. If they're going to drink, you follow them. Sooner or later, you're going to take up the glass. Yeah. Sooner or later, you follow the type of people, whoever, if negative in the thoughts on sometimes, like for example, maybe if in the office culture has a lot of all these negative thoughts and strong deep politics, office politics and all that, then over the years, inside there, you become part of it. It's not so easy for you to pull out. Sometimes you don't realize that we are part of it also. It can be very negative, can be very unpleasant. So our mind is affected because you are there for 8-9 hours per day, 5 days a week, times by 30 years or 40 years. And that's a lot. The people affect you. So the people that you mix with is going to affect your negative thinking. But if you mix with the right people, let's say people who have virtue, with generosity, with kindness or compassion, you mix with them, then your thinking will also be like that. There will be more better positive thoughts. So if you follow them in this way, then the negative thoughts will be less. So begin with people that you mix with. That's why the Buddha says the whole development of our spirituality is all depends on kalyana mitta, right people, right friends. So if you mix with these type of friends, then all the thoughts are beginning more and more. But the problem is that a lot of us, we don't see these things as important. We don't see this as important. We just, everybody is okay one, never mind one, and then mix with them. And then you mix with them, you roll into this one. Now here, I'm not trying to be like discriminate who they are, or whether by race or by this one, whether they are Buddhist or not. I'm not discriminate in that sense. Don't put. I'm not in that way of looking and thinking, but I'm looking at people who looking at from the angle of virtue, angle of generosity, wholesomeness, and the act of unwholesomeness, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and so on. I'm looking into that. I'm not trying to discriminate people based on their color or based on their male or female, not in that, but based on their this one. So this is where we draw the line of being pride and which one is wisdom. Okay, so the wisdom here, we begin to look into different. So therefore, you must learn to mix with the right people. So you mix with the right people, then the thinking become better. If you don't mix with the right people, they will keep on feeding, or their actions or their speech will keep on feeding to you again and again. So again, like your the way that you mix with people, or maybe your lifestyle also. Your lifestyle also, that perhaps you have to reduce certain things that you love. Sometimes, for example, you love to eat something. Penang also you can drive. From here, drive all the way to Penang. But meditate only, Penang too far lah. That no. And so also sometimes certain people's lifestyle, and then they nowadays they just sit on the computer, play with the computer, looking at internet and all that thing. And especially nowadays, young people, everything TikTok lah, dance a little bit here and there, post it up, and then everything like that also good. But for you all, maybe like what? Korean drama. Or whatever you'll get attached to. Then sometimes this type of lifestyle may not be so good. It would be good that sometimes we do something more better. Maybe exercise a little bit more, because if you exercise a little more, if a better health, then you can come for meditate. I mean, you can still able to come to meditate. Sometimes we meet with yogis, the body is a bit sickly, When it comes to meditate, sick liao. Meditate halfway, sick liao. Then how are you going to be able to develop the mind? And all again here because of their lifestyle, maybe a bit too sedentary, to all these type of things. So you make sure that you're healthy, you eat right, or you stay or a better area, better situation, things like that. So these are the things that it helps our to prevent all these negative proliferations. This is how I look at it. It's not just only during in the meditation. During the meditation, we talk of mental agitation. That is proliferation. We try to stop the proliferation of the mind. We try to cut it off. But here we are looking at more of our lifestyle and so on, and our people that we connected to and so on. So do more good when you're out there. Do a lot of good deeds, service, help others, and so on. Then all this generate a lot of good thoughts and so on. But nevertheless, when you mix with people, there's always friction around it. One way or another, there's always friction. But when we look at it overall, bigger, then it actually is much more mentally healthier than we just mix with the wrong people. Anyway, let's see. And how to get out of such negative thoughts once we are aware that the mind create all this vicious mess. Now, you want to get out of these negative thoughts since we are there sometimes. Here again is where your mindfulness, even in your everyday life out there. For you, you see here, while you are here, trying to pay attention to all the agitation of the mind, you begin to experience all its characteristics here and there. Sometimes it's cunningness, its way of coming in, and so on. You begin to aware of those things. Because if you're aware of those things, you're aware of its signs, they call it. When you go out there, when this type of thoughts coming in, you kind of like, hey, it's exactly what I saw in meditation. This negative or this is proliferation of the mind is coming in. That means the mindfulness is there already checking on it already. That means there's awareness of it. That means there's also going to be the mind is know how to slowly begin to stop it already. But it begins with able to detect it, able to be aware of it, able to become sensitive of it. That's why the moment that you're aware of it, usually it will start to fade off, starts to become less. But if you do not know how to stop them, you do not know how to see them, they will just keep going and going and going. From there, when there's a mindfulness there, then after that, you want to add in metta, you want to add in compassion, you want to add in other wholesome mental states, then fine. But all starts with take note of it first. All right? Then we begin to loosen and to reduce all this negative proliferation, negative thoughts, even when we are out there. Okay? So all these small things are that we do it's very helpful even when you're out there, not just only during in the meditation. All right, I think that's it for tonight. That's all the questions. Okay. We'll continue on Monday. Idang may bawa ng nibbana sa pachayo hotu. May my mental cultivation be a condition for the realization of nibbana. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema. We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings and all the devas. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu Anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.